straight from the realm of all things gaming. Everything Noob starts now.
Episode 116 of the Everything Noob podcast. I am Vortak, maker of the Let's Play videos on the YouTubes, and joining me this evening,
Jemmy, and drawing Minecraft fan art is tedious.
and
Dreadlow. I'm probably the number one Hearthstone streamer on Hitbox because nobody else does it.
You're the best!
No, I mean there are, but I mean they're like in other countries other than North America, so I'm probably the only English one, I think. I don't know. Anyway, just check me out on Hitbox.
well, there you go. We are
There you go.
We are gamers of sorts that play around on the internet, and we have a theme for our podcast every week. The theme this week, Windows 10 announcements, more specifically how some of them relate to us as gamers, PC gamers, in fact, because we spend a lot of our times PC gaming. So I'm kind of all over the place with this because there's a few things I was really excited about just on the software side of it, being it's going to be free if you have Windows 7 or 8, 8.1, whatever. So you can just upgrade to 10 for free. And there's going to be like a lot of just new fancy things that kind of pull together the best of 7 and the best of 8 and put it into one OS. Your thoughts?
I'm still a little scared about it. Because of the gated community thing Microsoft wanted to do.
I know. There's still, and a lot of the updates they're doing seem to be relating to that gated community still, but also some of it more open, I guess, within their community. For example, you can now take your Xbox One and stream it to your PC. So,
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
yeah, so if someone's like using
That's
your TV,
kind of like the Steam box.
exactly, like the opposite of Steam
Kind of like the
box.
Steam, yeah.
So could you control your Xbox One through your PC or just watch what's going on?
That's interesting. I don't know because you're technically running the same operating system. That's kind of how they want it to feel anyway. So I'm not sure if that's how it's going to work or it's literally just going to be the Xbox stays on and you use your computer to play whatever game. Really, you're just using your monitor and the Xbox hardware is doing all the work.
Yeah, I would think.
That's kind of cool. I mean, PlayStation has that now with their PlayStation TV. You're supposed to be able to stream your PlayStation to whatever other television you want to stream it on. You can keep it in the other room.
Yeah, I wonder if it would allow you to work with actual Windows programs at the same time. Like, for instance, for people who want to stream an Xbox, they can use OBS at that point, which they won't have to have the hardware to do that.
You mean stream
Well,
to
they'll have
like...
to have hardware anyway. Like stream, like, you know, having a regular stream like on Twitch TV or something. Whereas right now you have to have special hardware to actually stream from your Xbox. If you want to use all the bells and whistles of OBS, you have to have special hardware to get that to stream on your computer, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're getting that anyway with what you're talking about. But what I'm saying is it would be easier because it's a multi-use thing that you're talking about here rather than a specific thing only for streaming on Twitch TV or Hitbox.
Well, one of the things I saw in one of the demonstration videos was like they were playing Minecraft on the Xbox and they wanted to highlight a moment from the game and it showed the video editing tool and it was kind of just thrown in there in the video I saw. But I'm wondering if what you can do is take your Xbox, stream it to your PC, and then use your keyboard and mouse to edit those clips together instead of an Xbox controller like people probably are doing now.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
That would be pretty
It's kind
cool.
of like adding a Xbox emulator to your PC in a sense.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not really an emulator using the hardware that's streaming onto your PC, but it's actually accessing the Windows operating system. So rather than just streaming on the monitor.
But if they wanted that, why not just like create a new attachment, like, or advertise like you can hook your keyboard to it?
Maybe
because
you
I'm
can.
pretty sure you can.
Yeah.
Because you could with the 360.
Yeah, I guess what they're just trying to do is put everything... If you have a Windows computer and an Xbox One, you basically have one supercomputer house where you can walk into the other room and start playing your Xbox and doing whatever on it. And before you know it, you're doing your computing on your Xbox, and you go, oh, why isn't this web browser I like on here? Oh, I'm on my Xbox. Whoops. And switch back to the PC. I mean, that's the kind of thing I'm imagining, which is pretty cool. I mean, my question that kind of I thought of was, I always did LAN parties with my Xboxes. I had them hooked up all throughout the house. I wonder if you can now have one Xbox, and instead of split screen, you can stream player 2 in another room.
Now that would be nice.
That would be pretty awesome.
Oh,
I doubt it.
Interesting. You know what this reminds me of? I'm a big fan of Back to the Future, and Part 2 had a point where, what's his name was getting fired from his job, and he had this television system that he could talk to, and it can answer phones and things like that, and he could talk to his boss. This is what Xbox One is. It's interesting how they had that in a movie in the 80s, and it's come to life here. And now you're going to be able to stream from your Xbox One onto your PC. It's all going to be kind of unified as one thing, which is something I think would be nice, but
it seems like everything's kind of coming together now with Microsoft. All their weird exclusive crap they're doing. I think Windows 10 is what's going to stitch all of it together.
Wasn't that the end game, though? They wanted everything to be,
of course,
the Microsoft experience.
It just took them, a lot longer than it did for Apple. But they kind of, they have their own hardware and software, and they've made it really easy for themselves. Not that I mean, when you make a PC, you can get hardware from like all these different brands. And Mac, I feel like you're kind of limited. I don't own a Mac, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can order random parts and put, a Mac OS in it. But for the most part, Mac just has it right. They catered their software to seamless streaming things in other rooms. I mean, Apple TV stuff. You can buy a movie while you're sitting on your computer in iTunes, like, oh, I want this movie, and then hit play, and it's playing in the other room on your Apple TV. And all that stuff has been around for Apple, like, for a while now, I feel like.
Well, yeah. I don't think it's totally Microsoft's fault, though, because there was a lot of pushback from people. No one wanted their Microsoft phones. I mean, some people do, but most of us do not. And I remember a lot of people pushing back on the Xbox 360 update that kind of made it a more Windows 8 environment. And everybody's like, we don't really want Microsoft to be unified. So there's a lot of pushback from the community, and nobody really wants those devices overall to be seamless together because we already get that functionality from other things. And with Apple, everybody, it's pretty limited. You have freedom, but only so much freedom. So it makes sense that everything works together.
Yeah.
What makes it really hard for them, though, is the fact that you got billions of well, not billions, but you got a lot of companies making different kinds of hardware for Windows users. Whereas in Apple, they have their systems and they know their software works with their systems, so there's never any discrepancy. So if you get a computer from, say, HP or whatever, and you're trying to hook up your system to work the way Microsoft would like it to work, and because there's missing components for your hardware, it's not going to work completely right with that particular computer, So you got those issues you got to deal with.
You're right. The only way to get that down is to literally buy the same brand everything. I mean, if you get an Asus laptop, you better have an Asus tablet and whatever other Asus stuff that they make. So you have everything that runs seamlessly, all the hardware understands each other, and everyone's happy. And I can kind of see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Windows 10 is supposed to fix a lot of issues where, it's going to be very much like Windows 7 in a sense, where you can pretty much put this on older hardware and it would work just fine. Whereas, we know Windows 8 won't be able to do, it seems like when they made Windows 8, they went backwards, in compatibility issues with older computers. But now it seems like they've learned from their mistakes. And now with Windows 10, it's going to be kind of fixing that, hopefully.
I just find it hard to believe that they made that mistake a second time, because they did that with Vista.
Well, yeah, they've made.
I know.
They do that. Understand. That's their history. They make one thing, and people love it, Windows XP, and then they make a new thing that's just for, at the time, over the top, and like, we don't need this. Vista fails, and it just did a bad job at what it was supposed to do anyway. And then we got Windows 7, and that became the new standard OS for offices and homes. Everyone's using Windows 7. Windows 8 comes out, same damn thing. It only catered to touchscreen users and very limited to, people just using a keyboard and mouse traditionally. And like Dreadless said, a lot of compatibility issues as well. And now we're seeing them fix it once again with 10. And damn well, by the next iteration, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to try to be way too bold, do something that, maybe arguably is ahead of our time, and then, cycle continues.
They claim they want the whole reason why it's called Windows 10 instead of Windows 9 is because they want to completely start over and separate themselves from all past Windows products.
Well, it's because...
Oh, that's scary.
If you type in Windows and then the number 9 into a search engine, 97, 98, and 99 all kind of pop up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's another reason too.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, I don't care if it's really the 10th version of Windows or the 20th. Whatever they named the Xbox
Windows
the Xbox One. Yeah. First they call the Xbox, then the Xbox 360, then the Xbox One. They're almost as bad as naming things as Nintendo has been.
Wii U,
3DS, new 3DS, new 3DS XL. Oh my gosh.
2DS.
Yeah.
At least it's simple.
I guess, but now you have to specify, oh, I got a new 3DS XL. Oh, did you get the brand new 3DS XL? No. I got the cheaper 3DS XL. It's new to me, but it's stupid. Another stupid name flub by Nintendo. So Windows isn't much better, but I think overall this will be my next operating system, and the fact that it's going to be a free upgrade is pretty nice. I'm not going to get it right away. If you're smart, my recommendation would be to wait a little while for all the dust to settle and them to probably release the first service pack. If it takes that long for No,
that's only for Windows 8 users though, right?
No,
7 too.
The free upgrade.
Yeah.
The free upgrade?
Yep.
You have 1 year to claim it, though, from the day it officially releases. So don't wait too long to claim it.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm going to claim it right away. So Windows 7 users also get the free upgrade? That's awesome.
Yeah. That was a good move.
Well, because they want to get 7 users off 7, because we know that we're all in our comfort zone. And we're like, why do we need to upgrade? Other than Windows keeps threatening to pull support, which I don't care about. So they want us to get put into that nice Windows 10 garden, and they can start cutting support and
is there an official release yet, or
having control?
There's
Q4 of this year, meaning the end of the year. However, the release, the cut support for Windows 7 was supposed to happen this month, as I understood.
Yee.
Yeah, we may have already lost that support. We may already have our last update sitting there waiting for us to throw in there if we haven't done it already. I don't know if they changed that, but when I first read about it, it was this month. Windows 7 was no longer going to be supported, or maybe at the beginning of the month even. And that kind of pissed me off a little bit, because if you think I'm going to go out and buy Windows 8 when you're offering Windows 10 for free if I have Windows 7, you're dumb. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
I'm just going to wait.
They should extend the support, at least extend the support there for Windows 7 until the release of Windows 10.
Joke's on you. I never
separation.
I never upgrade.
That's complete separation.
I never upgrade Windows. I'm so bad about updating my Windows. Not upgrade. Updating. I'm terrible with updates. Yeah. So joke's on you.
I got an update down here.
I
got an update down here.
Yeah.
It's been sitting here for months.
Oh,
I look at it to see what it
awful.
is. I mean, if it's something important,
I usually update only the critical stuff. The rest of the stuff I don't, because
it just
most
takes
of the
so
time
long.
It ruins my computer. In some way or another, it's going to break it down. And then I have to format faster because of it.
I'm having enough problems with my computer.
Forever. It takes forever too.
That's the one reason I was considering maybe one day becoming a Mac guy, because at least if something goes wrong, I can bring it to some guy who knows how to fix it instead of like having to hunt down through the phone book, find a computer repair guy that's going to charge me too much. I could just go to the Mac store where I got it and go, fix, meh, and let them deal with it.
Yeah, but you paid for that, like, customer support up front.
Yes, of course. You can't say that...
It's only good for a few years.
I mean, the one thing that Apple has always done well is created solid hardware. I mean, maybe people are going to start yelling at me for saying that, but for the most part, they've created pretty solid hardware. Compared to this computer that I stitched together myself, now it's having all kinds of problems. So, I don't know. Take it as you will.
Might be time for a format.
I had one recently, and I think it's a hardware issue. So I get to track that down now. But it's that's just what I get. That's the world of PC gaming. You build this supercomputer, and before you know it, you're having to, change your motherboard. Which basically means a whole new system.
If you needed a new motherboard, you wouldn't be able to record right now.
Yeah, I'm having this weird problem with my USB port. So we'll go into my personal computer problems for a second. If you ever watch my videos, you'll hear it sometimes if I forget to edit it out. My USB port, doo-doom, boom, meaning something's disconnecting and reconnecting. And I downloaded this program that's supposed to detect which port is giving me the problems, and it turns out to be the one on my wireless mouse. And short of getting a new mouse, I'm not sure. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just plug this into another port. So I unplug the mouse, put it in one of the back ports that is attached to the motherboard. Computer freezes. Completely locks up. That's it. And I have to restart it.
You know what? It could be a power issue. You could not be getting enough juice from your power supply.
It's a pretty hefty power supply, like 750, what is that, watts?
Yeah, but if you're still pulling too much, it's not enough.
Maybe. I suppose it's possible.
I mean, you have a lot of...
I have a hub here, and I have to put in an external power supply into the hub in order to get some of these things, even though they don't require, they require power, but I mean, everything requires power, but I mean, it doesn't like necessarily require an outside source. It'll use the power from the USB, but the USB is not putting out enough power, so I have the external power supply hooked to the hub. It's weird.
I have external power from most of my hefty equipment. My soundboard runs on external power, so therefore my mics run on the board's power, and like everything plugged into this. I don't have any. I have a webcam and a keyboard and a mouse. Nothing. I don't think anything too crazy. External hard drive, which is getting power from the wall as well.
Huh.
So. Anyway, if anyone's had that problem, I've bummed around some tech support forums for a while, and there are so many different things it can be. It's like I might as well go on WebMD and type in "I have a cough," and
cancer.
Yeah, exactly. I have a cough. Like reset everything.
Couldn't be the flu. It's cancer.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. You put in one little problem, and it ends up. You find out it's like it could be 100 different things.
Yeah. Well,
and it usually scares you because it's something. It sounds like something really bad.
I have a rule.
Like your
no
memory
WebMD.
is messed up.
If you're looking at problems on WebMD, it's no. You deserve whatever fear comes your way.
And that's exactly why I have that rule, because I know I'll get scared. So it's like, if I feel like I need to look at WebMD, I need to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
You got a cold sore, and by the end of your search, you've got downright cancer that's going to spread to everything in your body, and you're going to die tomorrow.
WebMD.
I mean, that's what WebMD does to you.
You're gonna die.
Well, let's transition here. Another feature on Windows 10, Cortana, which I guess is their version of Siri. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, they're putting that on 10 though?
Yeah, that's going to be on the operating system.
I don't really want that.
That's how I feel too. I have an iPhone and I never use Siri.
I never use voice anything. It's just a lot of times it's wrong, it's slow, it's cumbersome. Just let me click 2 times and I'll get it.
Well, when I'm at work and somebody wants a specific wine or whatever, because I work in a liquor store. So if somebody wants a specific wine or something, I'll just turn on my phone and say, I think it's okay Google, and and then I ask the question, I put the specific wine type in there, and it looks it up for me and opens up a web browser. So I use it quite often. So
if you can remember, I guess it's all about remembering you have that feature. I always forget I have it. You know what I use Siri the most for? Other people. When someone asks me, hey, when's that football game tonight? I'm like, I don't watch football. I don't know. So I'm like, hey, Siri, when's the Seahawks game? And Siri's fantastic with that. Siri will pull up your football crap or whatever sport you like instantly, no hesitation. But if I'm like
stats,
if I'm like
player gossip, everything.
If I'm like, hey Siri, I need to find the location of Dreadlow's liquor store, it'll take me through the Google Gambit, and I might as well just type it on Google anyway, or Google Maps. So
it gives you a little bit too much information.
Siri is very specific, and I feel like maybe I haven't used Cortana, but maybe it's the same thing except where it's like the Siri. It's Bing to Google. You know what I mean?
Ugh. See, that's another reason I wouldn't want to use Cortana, because that come built in with Bing searches.
Yep.
Well, Google search already has that. You know that, right?
Bing searches?
If you go to Google search, there's a little microphone all the way to the right-hand side of the Google search.
Yeah.
And you can just do it through Google. You can say, look up this, and it'll look it up for you.
These are features, handy. These voice features that we thought would be all futuristic and cool. They're all hidden. There's no quick way to find that. I didn't even know that, but now I remember the button. You said it, I'm like, oh yeah, I have seen that little microphone before, but I never click on it. And I have this mic always plugged into my computer. Why not? The future.
Exactly.
Meh, I'll just type it.
Well, I mean, if you're in the middle of a game or something, you know what? You just opened up a door. I'm going to start using it. Seriously. Because there are many times I'm in the middle of a game, I want to look something up. Like Hearthstone, what's the best deck for the month or whatever. And I'm playing the game. I don't want to just stop, and type stuff. I want to continue to play the game, so I can just click that button. I could probably assign it to a key on the keyboard and just click it and say, Google, look up such and such, and it'll look it up for me.
Can you scientifically document this process for a while and then get back to us on your experience on how useful it is?
Everythingnoob.com. Let's try it.
So
no, I meant over a period of time.
Oops, it misunderstood me. It said
exactly.
It looked up
this is why
everything
I never
nude.
Knew.
Everything nude.
Oh no, that is not where we want to go.
Ruh-roh. But it doesn't actually go to the website. That's the thing. Everythingnoob.com. No, it wants to automatically do the everything nude.
See, and that's the problem.
It does everything noob, and it automatically does everything nude. So that doesn't work.
That's the problem, not only with Google, but just voice in general.
I'll bookmark that site, though. No, I'm just kidding.
You can't use fake words in a voice search. You have to use your keyboard, because it tries to take your fake words and autocorrect them. And you don't want that. That's part of the reason you use Google, is to figure out, what's this website? And if you're searching for a brand that has a made-up word in it, like Everything Noob, you're not going to have a fun time. So you just have to type it anyway. So that's a feature you can only use half the time. If it's not going to sound out what you're saying phonetically, there's no point.
Yeah, because it has to search for words that sound like what you were saying. And if it can't find the word noob, what's the closest to it?
Yeah.
Nude.
Nude. I do like just the whole futuristic aspect of that Windows 10 seems to be able to bring to it. Unless, though, you have an Xbox One in your living room, all that's kind of lost on you, because I feel like a lot of this is catering to gamers, which is good. I mean, it's very good for us gamers. But I don't have an Xbox One. So I can't use some of the fancy, features when I'm between my office and my living room. So it's kind of disappointing at the same time. I wish I don't wish Microsoft made a smart TV, but I wish there was a smart TV that kind of was compatible with Windows 10. Then I wouldn't need an Xbox. I'd have the smart TV.
You can always install SiriWin
What's that?
on your computer. It's Siri for Windows.
Oh, okay.
Oh, great.
It really is. Seriously, they have one. I just
Oh,
found
boy.
it.
So this all kind of comes back to, though, like my biggest problem with technology is everyone has to have their own exclusive club. And we've talked about this before in terms of just, every single AAA company now wants their own social network, like Steam and Origin. They all want their own now. And what Ubisoft, what do they have? What's their stupid network called?
Uplay.
Uplay. Yeah. That's just one of many. I mean, Blizzard has the BattleNet system now and all that with your friends list and everything. And these are all convenient services, but in the end, they all kind of conflict with each other. And that's what we're seeing with the whole Microsoft Windows 10 versus any other piece of technology you may have in your house. If it doesn't have Windows on it, it doesn't all connect. And the whole point of all this awesome technology is seamless integration. Am I right?
Yeah. But if it's not compatible, say like guy down the street has a different kind of technology, well, you wouldn't want it to connect to your neighbor, but but say you did, like eventually the technology is going to be where you can actually talk to people, from house to house, because it's going to be as common as the PC eventually, right?
Yeah.
So it'd probably replace the phone, and if they got an Apple system in their house and we got a Windows system in ours, is it going to be compatible? I guess it would be kind of like Skype, they'd just have to make different versions of Skype for different, it's just a hard time for developers.
Yeah. It really is. I do feel kind of bad because there are just programs that have to turn to apps now and they have to work on all these different devices. But I mean, we'll never have that kind of harmony. No, we'll never have everyone just come together and make one operating system that everything works on, because then someone has to lose money and one entity gains a whole bunch of money while everyone else misses that opportunity.
Yeah, it's crazy. You got a smart TV and it's got all these different things like Hulu, Netflix, whatever else provides video content, and within a couple years, it's obsolete because a new company comes out with their video thing, and so the new smart TVs are going to have it. And it's like, I guess you can always update those.
I kind of feel like
it's just
smart TVs were obsolete the minute they came out, only because by the time smart TVs were a thing, we already had apps and stuff built into every other device. My Xbox 360 has Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff on it. Same with my PlayStation 3. That had all that as well. The Nintendo Wii had all that as well. And all these things were plugged into my same TV. And now, we have a smart TV now, and we have a PlayStation 4, and we have a Wii U, and all these have the same exact apps. It's just a matter of, like, if one of them just happens to not be working or whatever, then I can, I have options.
Yeah.
But chances are the only thing that won't be working is my crap internet. So I'm SOL.
Eliminates all of them.
Yeah. It's just a little bit frustrating. I guess so. If you have an Xbox One, yeah, you have all the apps at your fingertips, and now they are also shared with your PC, which is kind of cool. I've been seeing Windows try that forever. I mean, probably since like late XP, early Windows Vista, Windows 7, they were trying this media center they had. And it was supposed to work with a 360 to where, let's say you downloaded a movie, okay? You could put it in your media center, and your media center was supposed to sync up with the 360, but it never worked. So you were supposed to be able to play movies and stuff, but I think only a select few people got that benefit because you have to have everything set just right. Your computer needs to be this version with this hardware, and it needs to connect with your Xbox in this way. And I never had that. It was just a pain. So I'm sure now, though, now many years later, they actually have it right. It just took them so long. Now, the other big news out of the Microsoft event that everyone's talking about is that HoloLens that puts holograms in front of your face if you wear their fancy headset. And everyone's talking about the possibilities with it, how it relates to VR and all this other stuff. What do you guys think of it?
Not impressed.
They've been messing around with holographs for I don't know how long. I mean, they even had a video game that was an arcade that had a hologram or holo whatever you want, hologram. I guess you call it. And you didn't have to wear any special. What they did is they used a weird mirrored like system inside of it, and you played the video game that way. It's actually, the technology is old. I think we're past that now. I don't think we need holograms. I think,
but holograms are
need
cool
stuff.
And
Yeah, they are,
hipster
but
and trendy and a fad.
What we need is walls that are screens. That's what we need. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Way more
you go
expensive.
into a room and you're,
Way more expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just that's the kind of technology that we're into now. I mean, the holograms I think is a little old, especially when you got to wear some kind of headset. VR is different. There's no way they can make a VR system where you can't you aren't without wearing something. But holograms, they've been able to do it without wearing a device for years. I mean, there's no reason for us to have to wear something to see a hologram.
But in any
So, I
room,
don't
though?
know.
Because a lot of times you have to have an elaborate system of lights and mirrors and cameras to do it. Whereas
Yeah, exactly.
this kind of eliminates
I don't know.
all
It depends
that.
on. I mean, what is this would be used for? I mean, is it like? Is it kind of like what is that? What is that show called where he was swiping the air and the air itself was like a screen of a computer?
Well, they did it
Is
in
that
Iron
the kind
Man.
of hologram?
Minority Report?
Yeah. Yeah, Minority Report. You know how he does that, and the computer's like, well, it was actually on glass, wasn't it? But I mean, even then, I've seen it where, I mean, even some of the video games that you play, the character that you have, you push a button on your arm, and this screen will just pop up, and it's actually a hologram, and you're able to, manipulate it by motions with your hand. I mean, is that the kind of hologram we're talking about?
No. What you're talking about is kind of like using screens to like, it's like the opposite of a hologram, like the Kinect does. The Kinect takes your living room and then quote unquote puts things in it. But what you're really seeing is a picture of your living room on a TV screen, and then it can make little characters dance around your living room, but you only see those on your TV screen. This is something you wear on your head, and you can literally look around the room, and you can follow something running around your coffee table and stuff. I mean, like in Iron Man, when he goes into
basically
his...
the screen is
It's the
screen is
DS
the
augmented
headset.
reality.
Yeah.
You wear
don't know. I mean,
clear glasses you wear on your head, and in the glasses you see holograms that kind of put themselves, like there could be a TV screen on your wall where there wasn't one, and you could watch TV with these glasses on and have a nice big display there, but really you're just looking through a pair of glasses.
Is it is it a big unit, kind of like the VR, or is it something small?
It's
like
smaller.
You said, like glasses.
It's smaller than the Oculus Rift, but it is pretty bulky overall.
Yeah.
It does seem...
But can you see...
What?
But you can see normally with them on still. In other words, there's nothing blocking your normal vision.
Yeah, it's not like
just,
Oculus
you can
where
see through.
where you're closed off from the world. You can still see your surroundings. And that's what makes it so cool is it takes images and pastes them all over your surroundings. And then you can move your fingers.
That does sound interesting.
Yeah, and like push buttons that are floating in midair.
Isn't that kind of what Google Glass was supposed to be?
Yeah, but Google Glass just was like a lot more on the go, smaller, It didn't like map your room out. It just kind of, as I understand, you could do a video call and it's right in your eyeball. But
Ugh.
more or less. I never had one, so I don't know. But it more or less just would by voice. It could be like end call, and it would end the call. You would, in this case, you would push a button that's not there to end the call. Is what they're trying to achieve here.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, yeah, that's basically what I've imagined. You know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is something that useful. If it was just like a hologram where, it's just a toy, then yeah.
No. This is stuff like you see
useful,
this is stuff like you see in movies, but you have to wear glasses to see it, which is the one thing I think we're pretty far off from is the type of holograms you do see in movies where a bunch of characters stand around this magic table and images spit out in 3 dimensions, and you can like walk around and look at this globe. They're planning their strike, and they're walking around this holographic globe. We don't have that yet. Maybe the military does. We don't have it. Like as standard consumers, we're pretty far away from something like that. But this brings us one step closer, which is, I think, pretty cool.
I see a huge problem with it, though, for anybody who's vision impaired, for people who have glasses and stuff. And this is kind of why 3D movies, everybody's just kind of about it, because those people can't really enjoy it.
Yeah,
I suppose.
And I imagine you get a headache too.
I suppose you can make like a prescription type of. I'm sure they could do enough studies to figure out how to make that work, but that costs a lot of money. However, that's a giant percentage of the population that you're ruling out at the same time. So it doesn't seem to stop them from making 3D movies, but it's something to definitely consider. Not a bad point.
Right, and then movie theaters have to clog up their actual their cinema areas where they have to have a 3D version and a regular version. So then that limits how many movies they can have at their movie theater.
Yeah, I still think that we're gonna get this device, and it's going to be just as disappointing as the first Kinect was.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And that's okay. I mean, we're going to have to go through a couple test iterations of it. But what's sad is Microsoft is going to pump out that first version and act like it's the best thing ever, like they did with the Kinect. And we're going to be like,
Can I ask you a question, though?
What?
Who still isn't disappointed with the Kinect?
Well, the Kinect is a lot better now, isn't it? I mean, it's voice.
If you like the voice controls with the Kinect, yeah. But, the initial purpose of the Kinect, who really is enjoying that?
I think a lot of people weren't really interested in it coming with the Xbox. But I hear if you get it with the Xbox, you're ultimately going to be satisfied. But I don't think that's for gaming. I think it's more for the living room experience.
Well, I think it's going to be just like Nintendo's 3DS with the 3D button. It's going to be something that's going to be fun for a little bit, and everybody's going to go, "Ooh, this is cool," and then they're just going to go, "Oh, okay, I'm done."
It hurts my eyes.
Aside. Yeah, or something. It's neat to. It's kind of like a magic trick. It's neat to see right away, but you don't want to sit there and watch the same magic trick over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's a novelty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think, I'm impressed by the idea, but I'm sure the execution will curb my excitement about it. And again, that's okay. I think it'll be a few iterations before we see a good working one, but I think Microsoft is not on a bad path if that's what they want to pursue, because all they've been trying to do the past few years, it seems, is copy Apple. But I don't see Apple making virtual, spaces. So
maybe they got something in the works and they're just not saying nothing yet. They're
maybe
waiting for everybody else to come out with their garbage.
Hipsters don't want that. That's too mainstream. That's too futuristic. You wouldn't find that at a thrift store. So they're not interested.
Well, they don't sell iPhones at thrift stores either.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the first one.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, it's thrift. It's trendy.
Still there.
It's
it
cool to go
connect
backwards.
To any network. It's dead.
Screen's
iPhone,
cracked.
It's the first iPhone. Buy it.
This was the first one, man. It was the best. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. The one big thing that they were trying to really get us all riled up about, which just kind of made me facepalm a little bit, was the gaming demonstration where they took Minecraft and smattered it all over your living room. Which, by the images they were showing, the concept images.
Is this their big secret to making $2.5 billion by the end of the year?
This is a couple
they
years.
can't roll that out.
No, this is a couple years away. But that's what they decided to show. So you see a guy in his living room and he puts on the glasses and his Minecraft world populates his entire living room. And then he's trying to interact with it, build his house just using his fingers. And I don't know how you would do that. There's no keyboard and mouse. There's no UI to where you can take blocks and put them. I just don't know what you would do.
You'd
with
have
that.
to do gestures or voice commands. It'd have to be a combo of the two.
I'd rather just play Minecraft on my PC.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly.
Why go through all the trouble?
I'd rather have a UI device.
I don't
Because
the whole point of a building game is so you don't have to do it in real life.
Exactly. I don't think there's any game that could come out on that device that would make me see that as a better option than the Oculus Rift if we're going to go in that direction. I don't think this should cater to gamers at all. I think this should exclusively be for life convenience things, not gaming. My opinion.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can just imagine
the dance games or the rhythm games might be fun.
I'm just imagining you can see through everything. It's going to be, everything's going to be see-through. With the Oculus Rift, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a gaming experience where you can kind of turn your head and look around the world. And this is just for, putting holograms everywhere. Why would you want to play a game where you can, see through it and you're, knocking over coffee mugs and stuff, trying to
I see that
get
stain
creepers
on
away
the
from your
carpet.
house? Yeah.
That kind of ruins it.
Like a shooting game or something, if it knew where the couch was, then it knew to put a person behind the couch that you can shoot at when he comes up from behind the couch.
You know what? There could be fun games though where they're it analyzes your room and it kind of uses the room you have, your couches and stuff, and will place the sprites according in that room. Oh, here's the couch, so we'll sit them over there. So everybody's experience is unique to their living room.
Another demonstration they showed was this little character running around this person's living room. And so it jumped on their coffee table, then on their couch, and then a little alien floated over the couch and abducted the little guy and flew away. And I'm that's kind of cool, but I don't see how that's a video game. How, that's just a little video, not a game.
A magic trick, exactly.
Yeah. So, cool, there's a creature running around my living room. I don't want to play a game with this. I want it to be as they showed it first off, with the TV on my wall. I'm I can watch, my TV shows literally on any flat surface. That
would be cool.
Pretty damn cool.
But
you can take it while you're waiting for the doctor.
Oh, yeah, but you've got a luggage projector everywhere. With this, you just wear it on your head and you go about your chores.
I guess.
Yeah, all I'm saying is...
Your neck's gonna get tired, though.
Yeah. All I'm saying is you don't need to make this cater to us gamers. Just stop where you're at. You have Windows 10. It's going to, help out making the Xbox connect to my computer. Hey, good move. I wasn't even asking for that. But let's ease up on what you can play games on, cuz everyone thought you could play games on phones and it took forever for that to be taken seriously. And now we're finally seeing some real titles on phones that actually work okay, but it took a while. It was just stuff like Candy Crush, and, you had Angry Birds and things like that.
Right.
I never considered that true gaming. I just considered those little time wasters. And now they actually
we're going Star Trek way too fast.
Yeah.
Star Trek way too fast.
They put these giant games on your little smartphone, and I don't play them more than a few minutes before I'm I have this already on my, on a bigger screen.
Oh, I love it when I'm when I'm not doing nothing, I'm waiting for something. I've got Hearthstone on my phone. Literally.
That's great. I mean, that's really cool. That's the perfect game for that. But I'm talking about, the when they go all out and put a first person shooter on a phone, you're the one I have on my PC is so much better. I can sit in a nice comfy chair. I get a nice big display. I get to play with my keyboard and mouse and not this touchscreen. So gamers are simple. We just want a good gameplay experience.
Yeah, exactly.
So unless
you don't need to be everywhere at once,
Yeah, unless that flat screen TV thing I like so much is going to allow me to take an Xbox controller and then that's what I'm playing all over the house, holding an Xbox controller and wearing this thing on my head, then I'm kind of impressed. But putting Minecraft all over my living room, what am I going to do with that? Unless I want to show whoever, look how cool this is, and we'll, over it for a little bit, and then we'll move on with our day.
Yeah, Creeper comes in from the bathroom.
It's too small to walk around in, so I guess we'll just get on Minecraft and I'll show you the inside of this giant house I made.
Yeah.
I'm just going by the images they showed. Maybe you can like zoom in on it and like walk around. Who knows? But again, then I would probably want the Oculus Rift if I'm going to do that. So I'm immersed in the game instead of the game invading my living room and I have all these distracting objects everywhere.
Right, because you're still sitting down. You're still relaxed, in a relaxed state, and you can still play the game normally with this Oculus Rift on your face,
Yeah.
Whereas this, it sounds like you have to kind of interact, like walk around your room, or walk around your
Yeah. It's designed for interacting with your environment. And I don't think gaming caters to that. But prove me wrong. I mean, maybe if you make a game specific to like the things in your living room, like a Tetris kind of puzzle game where things are falling and you have to like move them out of the way so they don't hit any furniture,
Like if you're in the middle of a giant field, and you drop Minecraft in it, and you walked around, maybe it might be a little cool.
Yeah, but who's gonna?
House,
the sun's out. You're bringing this thing outside. It's probably very sensitive to the lighting in your room, I imagine. It's not gonna work. I mean, it just stop it, Microsoft. You got Minecraft. Quit rubbing it in. That's how I feel. I want to quickly talk about some of that. There's been a few other gaming news tidbits out there. We have 10 minutes left in the show. We were going to mention that Elder Scrolls Online is now free to play. You buy into it, obviously, but it's going to be come March, no subscription fee.
Who didn't see that coming?
Yeah, I think that's, I don't know if that was their plan all along or not, but it's going to be, according to my pal Frodo, it's going to be kind of like RuneScape, where you get benefits for still paying a monthly fee, but ultimately you can play the game without paying a monthly fee.
That's a lot of free to play now, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Is it? I'm not sure if it's this game, but isn't it? I heard that you can only go up a certain number of levels. Right or wrong?
I didn't really hear that, but I've only read into basically the headlines on this one. I got Elder Scrolls Online upon this announcement because Frodo's been begging me to play it. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll get Elder Scrolls Online. Maybe he wouldn't appreciate me saying begging, but he kind of pressed it a little bit. And
you still have to pay for the base game, though?
Well, I paid for the base game, and for the next couple months, I'll be paying monthly fees on it because it hasn't, the console, it goes free to play once the console version comes out. And by free to play, I mean you still have to buy in, like Guild Wars. So then I'll probably cancel the monthly subscription so I can still play. But if I lose out on a ton of features, then this news story doesn't even matter, I'm kind of curious. I'm sure it says somewhere what I will and will not be able to do, but I'm not going to really experience that until I get later into the game. You know what I mean? Right now I'm a low level, so I'm sure all that free content is something I'm experiencing now. I'm not going to know the difference until I get into the higher levels.
Right. I like Guild Wars 2 model. You pay for the game and it's free.
Yeah, everyone has the same experience. There's no subscription fee.
Yeah.
Speaking of Guild Wars 2, the new expansion for that's coming out as well. But I've dropped off of that game so long ago.
Yeah, but it'll be easy to get back.
Maybe.
You don't have to activate anything. You're just ready to go.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I'm having a lot of trouble even getting into Elder Scrolls Online because I'm not in my MMO mood. Like I was playing WoW for a bit, and I was really in the mood. And after I kind of got to where I wanted to get in WoW, it killed my mood, and now I'm playing other things.
Are you sure that ESO just doesn't scratch that itch for you?
It could. I'm absolutely sure that it could because it does play a lot like the games I'm familiar with. There wasn't a very huge learning curve getting into it. I kind of understand it now, and I'm like level 8, I think. So it didn't take long to get to level 8. I do know that it seems to level a lot faster if you play with somebody. I think most games are like that, but this is like significant. I was playing by myself. I did a whole bunch of quests, and I was like creeping up to level 8. Whereas when I was playing with Frodo, it was just like bang, 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 leveling like crazy. So that, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm in the early stages. Again, hard to tell. So, I mean, so far I like it. I do like you can get a mount immediately as long as you have the money. And he just gave me a bunch of money to get a mount. So that was cool. But other than that, I don't know. If you guys get into it, though, let me know. We can definitely play. There's no servers. You just kind of...
Well, it just seems like every time we get into something, it's usually once, like for instance, like you're going to get into Elder Scrolls Online. So what's going to happen is I'm going to save some money to get Elder Scrolls Online, and once I get it, you're already done with it.
Yeah, it's it. I'm not
happens.
doing it this time. I'm not. I'm just going to continue to play Guild Wars 2 and Summoner Wars.
I went into WoW
and whatever
because of you. I went into WoW because of you and, other people too, but I started playing, and now nobody's playing.
I know.
What the hell?
I know. But still, it's... I'm kind of glad that it's gone. It's going to be a no subscription fee kind of system. I'm sure it'll offer a very awesome experience.
Will you be able to download the game for free?
No. You'll have to pay. You got to pay for the game.
Okay,
that's still a thing, and the game's like $60. So yeah,
that's steep.
Yeah, it's base price of any game. What was most disappointing about it? I guess I don't know how they would have implemented it anyway, but there was no like Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood and things like that. It seems like the guilds are very, very limited.
Oh yeah, those are fun. Those are really fun to be a part of.
But as soon as you start playing it feels exactly like Skyrim. You're in there walking around. You're like, this feels exactly like Skyrim. But once you really get into the questing makes no sense compared to a Skyrim quest where it's really.
You remember I was playing in the beta a long, long time ago. I was in the beta and they put like our email address all over the screen so we couldn't stream it or nothing.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was very disappointed in it, but that was because it was really early beta, so it could have changed obviously. Because a lot of people like it, so. But back then it wasn't that good, so.
I think it really, for a lot of people, did scratch that itch. But the online world of Elder Scrolls Online doesn't seem very active. There are multiple servers, but it's all one server. Like if I join a party with you, we're on the same server. Because we're in a party, the game knows that we want to, or if we're just friends, the game knows we're going to want to bump into each other, so it puts us in the same world. And you can kind of do.
It's kind of like what Firefall does.
Yeah. There's no like server
Firefall
hop. Like you don't have to pay to move your character or anything stupid like that. They did a lot right, but I think really it starts to feel like World of Warcraft with an Elder Scrolls skin once you start just doing basic quests. Where I was going to say a Skyrim quest is very story driven, but Elder Scrolls quests they have a story and all, but it still kind of comes down to, hey, I need you to kill a few things for me and collect some things and bring them back. And
kill 10 of these.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, here we go again. You didn't do anything new with the questing system. And that's the biggest thing. I really wish I could give you an answer as to what I think the best way to do a questing system is. I'm over the way we do quests in MMOs. I really am. But I don't have a better answer for you. I really do not.
Would you wish that maybe they were a little more open-ended in that it's like, hey, this one NPC is looking for this item, so you can go farm it, or you can tell him to peeve off, and then if you don't get it in a certain amount of time, then you can't do anything more with him, or maybe somebody else is like, hey, no, I don't like that guy, but you can give that stuff to me, or maybe something along those lines.
That would be a start.
Yeah, like, I like quests that, go take this note to so-and-so. And then the adventure is taking that note to so-and-so. Because you have to avoid enemies. You have to do different things in order to get this note to that person. Those are the kind of quests I like. And along the way, you kill things and you gain their loot and things like that. And then you get you finish to complete the quest and you get all this XP for it. Rather than having 10 or 15 go gather 10 goat heads, and then bring them back to me, and then you get a little bit of XP, and then you got to go back and do something else, get a little bit of XP. I'd rather have there be fewer quests that are
longer,
very story driven, very story driven and longer, where you have to work your way towards the end of something to finish that quest, and once you finish that quest, you get tons of XP. That's the way I would like it to see. I'd like to see it like that.
Yeah,
I think that would be the answer to getting rid of those grind quests.
I remember playing Skyrim and trying to join the Thieves Guild, and they were like, okay, well, we need you to prove yourself. You have to rob these places, and you go into this town, and you get to choose which house you're going to go into. You're in town, you're like, okay, I need to rob somebody here. And so you just kind of walk in the door and you sneak in, and it doesn't matter what the hell you take. You just got to take something to prove your worth. And I mean, that's kind of the same principle. Go out, collect something, bring it back.
Yeah.
But they add that element of like, let you choose, There's an
element of danger there, because if they get caught, you can get hurt, and you have to fight your way through.
Different houses are gonna have people who are good at fighting, and some houses will have people who are asleep and they don't pay attention. I mean, the world feels so much more alive.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know where they went wrong there.
It's hard. I mean, when you want to make a game like an MMO where you have to allow players to communicate with one another and do the quest together, it's a lot harder to make a world like that. And I understand, but still, for an Elder Scrolls game, it was a little bit underwhelming.
I guess it would be. You can't have 4 or 5 people in a group go and do a quest that you take a note. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I guess you're right.
Yeah, you can. You just have one guy carry the note, and
everyone escorts him.
Yeah,
escorts him and
if you're all together in the party, then
you all
get credit for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's
not a whole lot of in a lot of these MMOs. There's not a whole lot of like mini boss in world bosses. Where when you're going along, there's like a boss. That you have to, and it's part of a quest. So you have to fight your way through to get to that boss, kill the boss, and collect like his head or something, and then take it back. There's not a whole lot of that in a lot of these MMOs. They have dungeons that have that feature rather than in the world.
Yeah,
and I think that's another thing that's missing too.
Well,
too many instances.
Yeah. We got to wrap up, unfortunately, but there you go. There's our thoughts on Microsoft and the state of MMOs. Maybe we'll see you in Elder Scrolls. Maybe I'll see you in Elder Scrolls. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Everything Noob Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Everything Noob Podcast. Hit up everythingnoob.com for our show notes, blogs, YouTube and Twitch channels, previous episodes, and even a t-shirt store. Please game responsibly, and we'll see you next week.